Last week, when the first 2 episodes of Monsters at Work premiered, I was cautiously optimistic for this show, and I feel like what the show delivered was okay. Mike and Sully are really true to the characters they were in the movies, but there wasn't yet much to enjoy about this Miffed team. I don't know about you, but I think this third episode is a big step up from the previous two. It shines in comparison because there's a little more at stake, there's less of the annoying characters, more of the sweet and enjoyable characters, and this episode was even quite funny sometimes. Hi fellow Disney Plus watchers, this is Thoughts After Disney Plus Watch, where we review everything new Disney Plus coming out, and I'm glad you're watching. This is a channel that's specifically about movies, shows, and all that's Disney Plus original stuff. So just a fair warning here before we start, I do want to discuss spoilers to really do this episode justice. So maybe press that watch later button if you like. Still here? Let's go. So the episode starts out with one of the workers coming into a bedroom, and he starts preparing a skateboard and some, I don't know what they're called, to go and make this kid laugh. This did confuse me for a moment though, as I don't know if he would need those items at all, you know, to make the jokes and faces he was doing. Yeah, he needs them to make everything go terribly wrong, that's true. He trips and falls, and because he sneezes at the same time, things go south. And I guess he also brought it with him in the last episode when we see him pop up for a moment with this skateboard and his thingies. And in that episode, this stuff also went wrong, so he should really stay away. So he sets this episode in motion, as this one's called The Damaged Room. It's all about this hole in the bedroom wall that the Myth team has to go fix, and in the meantime, Mike volunteers to go look out for the kid, though he also joins Sully to go to the baseball game and takes the kid with him. And here's the thing that immediately crossed my mind the moment the episode was over. Wait, what? So taking the baby to a baseball game is a better idea than to just leave the kid sleeping in the spot she's accustomed to? Because at the game, everyone's screaming and yelling and whatnot. At home, where the kid lives, Tyler is just struggling with some tape. I know Mike only decided later on to go to the game, but maybe his conscience should have told him to bring the kid back to her room. But it's okay, the episode would be less enjoyable for it. It's fine. There's a lot more moments and pieces of humor that I really liked. I felt like those were practically non-existent in the previous 2 episodes, but here, lots of moments I thoroughly enjoyed. The raw dog gone fresh was a great gag, as it shines a humorous light on what these monsters are used to and take as food. You know what I mean? So the raw dog is apparently so rotten that to put it through some digestion process, it becomes more fresh as poo than it ever was. I think that is a clever, funny little gag that fits this world inhabited by monsters. While we're still at the baseball game, the big, literally called green monster as the keeper, I think is absolutely hilarious. Of course, he's offered this position within a baseball team, and I love gags like this because the possibilities for this kind of humor in the show are practically endless. There are no rules to what these monsters have to be, how big, how small, how slippery, how fluid, how rough. So I like it for this show to do this kind of humor, because that is something unique to have up your sleeve. Mike and Sully are also so well done. I love the little moment between them when they argue if they should do takeout food or cook something. This is an argument like couples have, and it was a nice reminder on the fact that these two are still not only friends but also roommates, and this kind of stuff makes them human and reminds us of their understanding between each other. I'm a bit disappointed in Duncan, this character this week, because he was the character on the Miffed team I thought was the most enjoyable of the bunch last week. Here he just suddenly appears to keep an eye on Tyler, Val, and that whole operation, but he's just kinda there. I expected something to go wrong, that he would be the reason the whole operation would fail, or that would be something of a double cross. Bit weird why he was written in to just be there. Oh, and just be maybe really nitpicky, but is it just me, or is that one little scene where Mike is babysitting in the office and the baby going why was that recorded like that? Because that's the most fake sounding snore I ever heard. This also might be the first episode where I genuinely felt, this episode got real heart, you know? Tyler admitting he does remember Val from, yes, that one class, was a very sweet moment. It's also a great message, as it's all about this one moment that they spoke. That one moment was important. All throughout this episode, Val is trying to make him believe that they shared like almost a life together or something. Just out of desperation and loneliness, she tries to make up this whole friendship between them, and in the end, all she wanted to know is what Tyler remembered about that one quick moment in class. I really liked what this meant for Val. I like what that means for their relationship going forward. It was a good moment. Sully encouraging Mike to sing for the little girl was heartwarming too, to be perfectly honest. It's almost Sully wants Mike to know how he felt when he was taking care of Boo in the Monsters Inc. movie. He wants that love and care for a child. He wants Mike to feel what that is like too. That is why he encourages Mike to go and sing for her. This is saying more about Mike and Sully's relationship than anything else in this show so far, and I like that. Yeah, this episode got some weird moments and characters making questionable decisions, and again, the inclusion of Duncan felt completely pointless. Overall, I really enjoyed this episode more than I thought I would after some really mediocre first 2 episodes last week. It got hard, both between Val and Tyler, and of course between Mike and Sully, the raw dog, the green monster, things like that also make this episode quite humorous, quite funny. It isn't a masterpiece or a belly laugh comedy, but it sure is a good episode. I'm thinking about wrapping this up. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget, if you enjoy the idea of discussing Disney Plus content with us, that red button looks familiar, right? And if you're interested in thoughts on the previous 2 episodes, it's all in the description, or you can browse the channel page. Did you like this video? Then be sure to consider giving that a click. Thanks for now, have a wonderful day, and see ya!